Wow. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. No, that's not enough to get me up here in heels, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. That's better. I need to feel this is a worthwhile cause because I broke my ankle 4 months ago. This is the second time I'm wearing shoes, and I'm really proud to say I walked up the stairs, walked in here, and I managed to do it. I'm really, really excited to be here for a number of reasons. First of all, when Vanessa asked me to do this, I thought, will I be able to walk without a walking stick? That was my first thing. You know, that whole thing about how you look comes into it. The second thing she said to me, we are going to have some senior men in the room. So my ears perked up. I got excited. I said, really? She said, every room, every table is going to have a couple of senior men on the room. I said, now we're talking. Because the time has come for action. No more do I want to speak to a whole room full of women that get it. Right? I want the leaders in the room to understand, first of all, I want them to meet the talent that's in the room here, because there's a whole host of talent amongst yourselves today. Would you agree? Yes. Would you really agree? Okay, right. And the second thing is, when you hear some of the personal stories and you hear some of the stories from men who really get it and really see the business value, you know that actually our careers are in our own hands. One of the things that I thought about when I was speaking about this was, what was my career like growing up? I absolutely did have some amazing men that helped me on my way. When I think back, from those that thought I couldn't, they didn't realise that they were actually motivating me to do it. When you tell me I can't do something, I just kind of figure out in my head how I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to thank you for helping me to get there. That's a skill that I learned very quickly, first with my dad, but two, with the men that I worked with. Right, make them feel important, then they're going to keep helping me. But on a serious note, there were men that really told me I could do stuff and created the opportunities, which I didn't know at the time was true sponsorship. Right, when somebody makes a decision, when you're not in the room, to say, give that person opportunity, actually, guess what? They're putting their neck on the line. And there are amazing men that are out there doing that in organisations today. Some of them are in this room now because they've given up part of their day to being here and listen to people like me. So the other thing that I think we have to really take ownership for, and ladies, I'm going to have to say this, is sometimes as women, we don't help each other in the way that we should, do we? Because there's not that many of us around, when we see someone that's brighter and younger and much more attractive, and they look like they're more educated, what do? We kind of make life hard for them. And actually, so we've got the men doing the great work, then we've got the women who should be our allies actually crippling us. So this is to those ladies out here who have done it before. We know who we are. Those that know we're not going to do it anymore. And those who feel confident to feel that actually I want to take some credit for making sure that the women of tomorrow have been lifted up by things that I've done or by my own experiences. I think back to times in my career when actually it was another woman that got in the way because there wasn't enough space. And I didn't want her space, I just wanted a space. And I was really prepared to work hard as another woman to make sure that I was successful, so she was successful. So it's about letting her know that was happening. When you do that and men see that behaviour, they think, this is brilliant. I've got a great team because I've got great people that are working for me. They don't see that I've got one woman that's really better than another. They don't see any of that stuff. That's what we create. When Vanessa asked me to speak, I did say I'm going to be honest and I'm going to be open. So I am going to tell you like it is. There's always a good story. And the story for me is, if I think back to my own career, there were lots of times when people told me that I couldn't do things. Sometimes it was my own family, actually. Sometimes it was my own mum. Because they're caught up in their own space. You come from a Caribbean family and you've managed to get yourself into a really good job in their eyes. You should never, ever leave. You stay there until you retire or possibly die. In their eyes, they cannot understand why on earth you would want to leave a really well-paid job to go and do another well-paid job. But the world's changed. And I see myself as somebody that I'm always prepared to take a challenge. If somebody says to me I can't do something, or even worse, tell me I shouldn't do something, I'm going to figure out why the hell I'm going to do it. And by the way, I'm going to bring people on the journey with me. So part of the responsibility I feel that I have as a senior woman is to identify those women out there who are talented but don't know that they're talented. Help to encourage them, help to inspire them, connect them, invite them to events like this where they can meet other women who are like themselves, extend their networks. I'll tell you a very short story, and this happened many, many years ago, 30 plus years ago. I went to something which was called Cybos, and I remember at that time, I was the only black person from the UK in attendance in Sweden. There was 10 of us, the rest of them came from the US or Africa, and I was the only black person working for a Japanese bank. I was then running our payments area. Today we call it technology, but those days we called it payments, SWIFT, text, telex, all of those things. And everyone was saying to me, how have you managed to get on as a black woman in a Japanese bank? And I was really surprised they were asking me that question. And I was saying to them, well, actually, being black isn't the issue. Being able to do the job is why I'm here. And I remember thinking to myself, oh, I don't think people like that answer, but it's the truth, right? And I remember at that time, we used to make our SWIFT payments, and one day somebody made a payment to the wrong place. And you know what that's like, right? When you make a payment to the wrong place, and it's millions, and the person you've made the payment to is not around, and if they are around, they say they can't send it back same day value. You know where I'm going with all of this. So what happened? Somebody in our FX department made this payment. It was a lot of money, and they were panicking. I went outside, and I said to them, what's the panic? I was in charge of the SWIFT area then. And they said, oh, we've made this money, and then they're not going to give it back same day value. Oh my God, it's going to cost us a lot of money. I said, who's it to? So when they told me who it was to, I went into my little Rolodex, as you did at the time, because we didn't have mobile phones. And I picked up the phone and I said, hi, it's Heather. Remember the lady at Cybos with the green jacket? He said, yes. So I always wore bright colours, so I'd be remembered. I said, I need a big favour from you. I'll make it up to you in some way. I said, one of my colleagues has made a payment and it shouldn't have gone to you. He goes, I know it's flashed up already. I said, any chance you could get that returned to us same day value today? He said, I'll try my best. So guess what happened? We got the money back, same day value. All of a sudden, I was flavour of the month. And then what I realised, having those contacts in that business world, bringing it back into my organisation, then showed them that actually I'd earned my keep to go to Cybos the next year. But also on top of that, it's just the contacts and the networking. And I would urge all of you, men as well, because sometimes men feel they don't need to network. They're at the top of their game now. Well, actually, you do need to network because you get to find out about what's going on in your organisation that you didn't know what was going on. But equally, you get to meet great people who ordinarily you might think don't exist. But networking for us is a key part of our career. That's how we get to learn what we need to do. That's how we help our organisations. But most important is how we build our profile. And I'm going to end by saying, building a profile isn't just wearing nice shoes or nice clothes. It's about making sure that when you walk into a room, people remember who you are. Not necessarily because of how you look, but how you made them feel when you spoke to them. How you made that young woman or that young man that started your organisation on day one, how you made them feel when they came through that door, that first hello, that first good morning. That first, how's your week going? And for me, it's about role modelling. Role modelling is something that makes life that much more easy. I want to look up and see a lot more senior women in some of the jobs that are there, but not because they happen to be a woman, because they are great at what they've done and somebody else has recognised that in them and given them the confidence and the support to be the best they can be. I'm going to end by saying, men are here to help us. They were here first. But the fact that they've got all their daughters, their wives, their girlfriends, their mothers, And actually, when I say their daughters, they're spending a hell of a lot of money on investing in their daughters in private school. And they don't want their daughters to come and experience what some of us experience. So they get this. They absolutely get it. And I'm seeing so many men asking me the question in what I do, how can we find more senior women? How can I have access to them? And in fact, when they come in, what are some of the issues that they might experience so that I can be ready for them to make sure, because we want them to be successful. Do you hear what I'm saying? They want you to be successful. What I'd like to understand is that, or see from today, is a commitment that every woman in this room takes, that they also want to make sure that those women are successful coming up and identifying the talent as it comes up. Be the ally that so many of our men are becoming. It was a woman that actually, in many ways, probably encouraged me to be who I am. I'm not sure if she sees it that way today, because it has its benefits. But actually, it's men and women who have helped me on my journey. Men and women I've had awful experiences with, but those experiences have been the best learning experiences ever. But what I am going to say, it's men and women who have helped me to believe that I could be the best that I could be and that I could do anything that I wanted to do. And at this age, I am absolutely doing that. And so one of the things I want to say is, who are the champions in the room for you? I don't mean here in your office. Think long and hard about who are the people that are really making a difference. Who are the ones that when we have those end of year discussions around talent, who are the ones that actually really sit down and say, look, I've been observing person A, B or C, and actually I think this year this could be one of our talented young people, young women, that could really shine. And I think as a leader, when you see somebody else in your leadership team doing that, that's who you call out as great behaviour. And we need to see more of that. And what I will end by saying is that great women lift other women. Great people lift everybody with them. Any organisation that wants to be successful in today's world wants the best people working for them, not just for today, not just for tomorrow, but for the future. That's about their culture. So thank you very much. Enjoy your day and meet as many people that's going to help you on your career, so that if somebody in your organisation makes the wrong payment, you know who to call.
Ladies and gentlemen, Melville.